I'm going to do a demonstration of how you can work from the computer screen, because the light is brilliant because it's lit from behind, and I'm going to transfer the image using calipers, which is probably how I'd work from real life, and these are set to 1:1, so whatever I measure here is the same size there. I'm not going to overdraw this picture, but I am going to be accurate. So what I've done is I've put in lines indicating the outside edge of the computer, this side and this side, and I'm going to find some key points and do the rest of the drawing with the paint. So a key point is here, where the head curves in to the shoulder, the back of the head here, also this side where the nose touches the shoulder here. Maybe get the shape of this in here, find a lot of it with the paint, maybe under the armpit, and where the shoulder goes into the bicep here. So these are key points. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do it time lapse. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of painting real time. So I've mixed my colours up. I'm putting a mix of burnt sienna, a little bit of titanium white and neutral black, and I'm just going to put in little strands of hair, and it's quite fluid, so there's quite a lot of liquid in there. So just going in with the browns. Just take it to the edges. And that's pretty much it. And so this is a neutral black, and it is got a little bit of white in it, so it's not absolutely jet black. I'm just working this in through the hair. I'll take this nice strand peeping free there, but I'm keeping it quite loose. The brush strokes are fast and fluid. Because I want the hair to show up straight away, the highlight part, I'm just going to put a combination of this lovely blue and at the same time as I put that blue in, this green, and just work these colours in side by side and just take that up to the edge of the hair and into the hair a little bit, and it means that I can actually then butt the paint up against it. But what it's going to do is going to give me some lovely feeling, contrasting bits of light along the hair and on the forehead. Sometimes it's a bit scary going in with really big brushes because if you're clumsy, all your efforts in drawing are rubbed out. So be careful. So I'm going to put some key marks in the hair with a fine brush. This is quite good to jump from bold, big strokes to more precise. And what this does is it gives you detail, but in a sort of, you've done it in a sort of nonchalant way. It's not, it looks effortless. And it's a blend of a big brush and a small brush. So things like this lip line here needs a bit of rose in it. But getting this in early on is really going to give the character of the person you're painting. So this is something I go to quite a bit when I do a portrait, is I go in and do some really very, very descriptive dark marks, and they normally happen around the mouth and the nostrils and the eyes. That's where it all is, and this is where you can seal the deal if it's going to be a good painting or not. So this is really giving him a look. And I'm alternating between a crimson and a blue-grey just to give it a little bit of energy. So it's not just one colour, it's two colours for one. And that way you can ignite your picture and make it look really amazing, or not. There's a nice bit of lighter colour in the lip. With a highlight on the end. And so this is all quite crude, so it's quite a good idea to tidy it up a little bit on, as you're painting, because if you have it crude all the way through and you think, oh my God. So it's quite good to go in and refine and, put in between marks and get a softness. Because bold strokes are great, but if you put them all over the place, it just makes no sense. So you've got to really make sure that there is a modelling, which I'm doing at the moment. I need to just get it all to be more joined through here, not so disjointed. Okay, so I got that lip on the way. There's a good descriptive bit of shadow under the nose here, so I just put a curving shape like that. Go a little bit more red around this side. Give him a blue tip to his nose here, so it really is going to be quite contrasting against the shoulder. And then that can go into like a dark lavender as it gets a little bit lighter on the end. And that can then just drift off into the nostril. So you want to have an idea of how bright we're going to go, and I think that paint has got to go on in a very thick fashion. Now, there's something called a transition colour, and I'm seeing them all over the place. So before the light goes into the water, it changes colour. So it's almost like an outline of orange around the edge, and it just adds sunlight. So I take that up to the nose, and that's really given a bit of a boost there. Again, we need to line it even more, so it's almost like pure white in there to get it really glowing. And then just butt some of that background colour up against that orange and get a really nice soft edge to that transition. So I'm going to start putting in some of the beard. I'm going to use the small brush to show texture, and once I get that edge, I got it in the right place, I swap over to the big brush. And then that can be just put in quite rapidly. And then switch to sort of mark suggesting the direction of the beard. So one really has to get a feel for how it's coming out of the face and how it comes up here. So these marks have to be quite loose and free, and expect to put colour back in with those marks. The eyebrows are very important. They really do suggest his character. So one has to be a little bit careful around this area. And so this is definitely going to be put in with the smaller brush. then probably dealt with in the same free way, because if you get precious or get a bit uptight when it comes to doing an eye, it shows. So you should treat it with the same care and freedom as you did the eyebrows. So having said that, I must do that. And bung in a good bit of shadow into the ear. And also take some shadow around the bottom of the ear here. And start putting in his moustache. Right, it's quite good to fill in gaps when you get so far. To make it all knit together, you just go around putting in paint where there's missing bits, and you can modify it later, but what you're doing is just gluing the face together. So I've got this light coming underneath here. I got wonderful light going down the bridge of the nose. I'm going to put a transition colour of orange in first. Just take this orange down the edge, and it's what's separating the bridge of the nose from the water. And it's just like painting with pure sunlight. Soroya was a master of this. So that's a really nice finish. There's a really wonderful pink or rose just before it goes into the shadow. So again, I put this transition colour down here, get this rose in. And so when I put my dark up against the rose, I've got this lovely colour in between, and it changes, so it goes a little bit more lavender, more fuchsia towards the bottom here. So I've got this colour here. So the transition colours have surrounded that whole area. Now I can go in and put the paint on like treacle and really, where it's really bright, hammer it in super light, and then vary that. So as it goes down and around the nose, it goes from this bright white to slightly blue-grey. And then it goes kind of pinky in the middle. So we swap over to this pink here. And then it goes, then it can have a sort of slightly off-white colour. And then in the heart of that, you can have a very warm, bright light, and with a white on top. So there's the warm, bright light. And then hide inside that pure white to make it really glisten. This off-white can be taken down the brow. and we can give a hint of a brown to suggest that could be an eyebrow there. And then as it ducks under, one can up that more and get in some darker shapes there. There's a really nice little touch here where I think we're getting a lid. I don't think it's water, but we're getting an eyelid here. Or lashes, but we've got this wonderful shape appearing there. There are little bits of subdued pink coming in here, which could be his frown lines. And then in between those, we put a little bit of dark tone to give the illusion of that being a real frown line. And we got the same on this side. It's a good strong bit of paint there. And then separate that with a lighter mark. It's a real undercolour. And then push that red around a bit. And do some variations of colour up there. Trying to keep everything fresh. We don't want to go muddy. So really you've got to be on your toes here and just play about with colour. Oh, lovely bit of crimson there. We've got an off red grey coming in here, so that's got a really nice swirl to it. So you get these lovely bits of, you get inspired and you put these strokes in that have energy, like that. And that comes down the side of the face and this is all a little bit more lit, so this is all a bit brighter here, and that can be teased into some of the beard from earlier, like so. Right, I'm going to put some lavender on the nose. It's a nice blue colour here. It's very, very different from the other colours. It's a little bit too lavender. It's nice, that contrast, that cool contrast against the others. That's sort of coming up here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bit of time lapse and see what happens. finished. Yep, that's worked out all right.